So when we were starting to potty train our son, I still remember him going to a corner and then sitting down, and you could see his face turning red and him just pushing hard. And I looked over at him and I said, "Hey, are you going number 2? You going potty?" He goes, and he just started. I was going, "Oh my goodness!" He wouldn't admit that he was going poo, right, in his diapers. And so it was so funny to look into his face, and he was telling me no when you could clearly see that he was going. And I knew at that point, man, this is going to be a challenging ordeal to get him to go over to the toilet. And what we started to do is we put a plastic potty in the bathroom, actually in multiple bathrooms in the house. And I began to give him things to look at or read. He loved to read the newspaper and other things, or pretend to read, because I would read the sports page or read things by the kitchen table, and he would see that. And so one day he started to want to go to that corner. And I said, "Hey, let's go over here real quick." I could see he wanted to go. And I sat him down on his plastic toilet. And for some reason, he just held it in. He did not want to go in the toilet. And so I looked at him, I said, "Son, it's all right. This is the place to go." And man, that was where all these great adventures began. And we had some funny moments, some moments of laughter, and moments where he began to just sit there and read. And he would sit there for a long time, and then finally would go. You're going to have some incredible stories during your potty training days, but there are some very clear methods you can begin to use. Now, I have 3 tips for you, and I hope that these make it simpler for you. You do need to have patience, though. It's not an easy thing, and some kids are ready at around 18 months, and some are ready at 3 years old. And it's up to you to begin to look for when your child is ready. And the way you can tell is they'll start showing you some signs. Maybe they'll go to a corner, or you'll start seeing it on their face. And then you know that you can begin to point them towards the bathroom. And so the point number 1 on potty training is make sure you set some time apart to focus in on training your child in potty training. Once you know those signs, you're all in. So it could be 3 days, 4 days where your activity is teaching your child how to potty train. And so you want to have activities ready, you want to have things ready, and that's that first point, is you are getting things ready for this potty training with a few days to focus in on that. Point number 2 is you want to have some rewards in place, some things that are going to be motivators, some things that are going to be exciting for your child. And I remember with my son, we used little Cheerios, and I'm sure you've heard that, so cereal in the potty, and that was for number 1. And he initially saw that was a pretty cool, exciting thing, but he didn't fully connect it right away. And so when we knew, as we were giving him fluids throughout the day, as we knew that he needed to go, we'd go over there and go, "Hey, you get to shoot down the fighters," and we pretended that he was a pilot and he was an airplane, and so it was just using the imagination to help him see that, not as a threat, because it can be scary and intimidating to look at this toilet and, oh my goodness, it's big. What you're creating is a moment of imagination for especially your son. And they're a little bit more difficult to train on this than girls. So keep that in mind. They're both challenging, but boys tend to be a little bit more challenging. Know that up front. So you're putting things together. It could be that you put as an incentive something that you know your son or daughter has wanted. For our son, it was this little plastic golf set that he wanted. So we put that up there, and we put a little sticker chart. And as he owned more of the knowing that he had to go and felt that sensation and went to at least the bathroom, he would get a point on that sticker chart. And then as he completed little steps, we would show him how close he was to getting that golf club set as a celebration for completing the big boy task, and that is being able to go to the bathroom on his own by himself. And it was fun to see him go, hey, where's my little golf set? So we would show it to him, and he would be focused on that, and that gets the dopamine receptors working for you on this whole potty training thing. That is something positive. And we also provided stories. My son, when he started to learn the whole number 2 thing, I would tell him a story either next to him there by his little plastic potty. I would start to tell him a story, and over time he would ask me for those stories. He'd say, Dad, can you tell me a story? He knew he was going to be sitting there for a while, and for some kids that can get really boring. And it can be also just kind of lonely in there if they're thinking, man, I'm going to be sitting on the toilet for a long time. Why do I want to do that? I want to be with everybody, and I'll just go in my diaper. So in this case, what you're giving them is something to look forward to, and they're sitting there. And so he wanted little books, and pretty soon he was just looking at picture books on his own on the toilet. And it was a place where he didn't feel he was wasting time or missing out on something. It was a time of restfulness for him. So you can incrementally do that. So those are the first 2 points. And then number 3 is that you want to make sure that when you see the signal, you are helping in a very gentle way, saying, hey, I think this is a good time to go to the bathroom, and generally putting a timer in place to have a regular cadence those 3-4 days that, hey, it's time. Even if maybe they're not showing the sign, you're showing that there's a cadence throughout the day where you visit the bathroom. It's just a normal thing to do, and it's just part of the rhythm that as you're drinking water and eating food, you're doing that. So give them some fibrous foods, some fiber, oatmeal, other things that are going to create that sensation throughout those 3-4 days where you're going to be doing the potty training, so that you get on that regular schedule and they begin to learn that this is something I do throughout the day. So those are 3 quick tips for potty training. And from there, the momentum keeps going. Know that if your child is late 3 or early 4 years old, it doesn't mean you're doing something bad or wrong. It's a maturity thing. Eventually, they're going to get there. It takes patience and it takes diligence. But generally, if you stick to those 3-4 days, you're going to see that they're getting it. And overall, they're going to be really close to that potty training at 100%, which is exciting to see. Hey, if you like what you saw, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We love having you with us. Be sure to leave your comments, and I'll see you again soon.